Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday, April 12th, 2020 AD, this most auspicious year of our Lord. Some are calling this year zero, because it is the birth of a new age. That's what today's all about, baby. It's about that rebirth, it's about that resurrection. It's about them brand new vibes.
Akira.
One of the things I tend to do is to look at symbolic representations through the lens of evolutionary biology, rather than assuming that these representations are mere superstitions or play no functions. Like, we have the idea that there's a deity that's father-like. So it's a disembodied spirit in some sense, that's eternal, that has eternal characteristics. It's like, okay, well, strip it of its metaphysics. If you strip it of its metaphysics and just look at it as a biological phenomena, it's like, well, what might the idea that there's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. What might that be a reflection of? Well, it's like, well, there's you imitating your father, but your father imitated his father, and his father, and his father, and his father imitated his father. So in some sense, what your father actually imitated was the pattern of fathers across time. And you could think of the transcendent father as the pattern of fathers across time. When a child imitates his father in pretend play, when I'm pretending to be my father, I'm observing my father across multiple situations. And then I'm abstracting out the commonalities in behavior and attitude across those situations that make him father. And then I incorporate that and dramatize it in my pretend play. It's unbelievably sophisticated. And so it's what the child is doing in pretend play is coming to embody the disembodied spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal.
What up, baby? Smash that like.
Spirit of the Father.
Get after
Spirit of the Father.
Summon forth your brothers and sisters to this congregation.
Spirit of the Father.
It is that Sunday assembly.
And so you think, well, that is a disembodied spirit.
They can't stop us assembling here, baby.
Spirit that's in
This is our space.
the collective of fathers across time.
Meaning space.
And what is that? Well, it's a judge. That's for sure. It's a judge. Even when you interact with the hierarchy of men who are currently alive, something can be abstracted out of that. It's like the patriarchal spirit. And if you don't think that's judging you, you are not thinking. It's absolutely judging you. That's what rank orders you in a hierarchy. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father.
Yo, make some noise. Smash that like. Post that link on Twitter, post that link on Facebook, post it wherever you gotta post it. Tag me, I'll retweet you. It's the best Sunday. It's the best Sunday to be alive in the history of Sundays. How about that? Yeah, baby. Wow, how are you?
How you doing, baby? Happy Sunday. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. What a day. What a time. Easter. Easter at the Church of Meaning. Oh, what a beautiful feeling. Raise your hands to the ceiling and say, hallelujah! Damn, baby. We here. How you feeling? How you feeling, baby? What's cracking? How's your day going? How's your Sunday? How's your Easter? Are you feeling grateful? You feeling grateful to the gods? To the God, however you want to put it. I don't mind. You know, how you feeling? How you feeling today? What's going on with you? Shouts out to everyone who's locked in. Smash that like, post that link, hit up your Discords, hit up your local congregations, hit up your mom, hit up your Zoom groups, all that business, hit up your aimed chatbot list, all that. Today I was supposed to not do any work, and that's what I'm not doing. I'm not doing any work. This is not work. This is holy. You know, this is important. This is important. It is important that we continue to gather. It is important that we, exercise our rights to assemble here, on the Meaning stream. Formerly the Quarantine stream, now the Meaning stream, because cause quarantine. What is that? You know? All is mind and mind is all. You can't quarantine the mind. Mind already inside. The deeper it goes, the better. Similarly, the mind is also the external. The external is just a reflection of the mind. So the mind is all. All is mind and mind is all. Can't keep us down, baby. Shouts out to everybody locked in. BJB says, thanks for doing this. Thank you for being here. Diaz said, blessed, had a church service with my mum-in-law. Pentecostal. Nice. Or should I say,
Nice.
Hey, John Hannibal Smith is in the building. He's dropping duck emojis. You know, the ducks are all swimming in the water. Just like us. Swimming in the water, baby, riding the waves. Cindy Bailey says, Meaning streams are my daily form of prayer. You smart. And we appreciate you. We're happy you're here. Shouts out to YouTube hero Alex. He's regulating the vibes out there. We keeping the vibes joyful always. We keep the vibes positive, joyful, useful. This is a positive sum. Outlook on life here at the Meaning Central. You know what I mean? We're looking at that glass, we're like, ooh, look at all that, look at all the potential of that glass. I don't even care if it's half empty or half full. It's like, it's a glass, that's dope. We could do something with that glass. What can we do with this glass? How can we maximize the usefulness of this glass in our lifetime? Yo. I could live as nature demands. And if I fail, it's no one's fault but mine. Why? Because I didn't pay attention to what they taught me, what they told me, practically step by step, that my body has held out for so long through such a life, that I never laid a finger on Benedicta or Theodophus. Even later I was overcome by passion. I recovered even though I often quarreled with Rusticus. I never did nothing that I regretted later, though my mother died young. She spent her last years with me, and if I ever thought to help someone in need, I was never told that I had not the means, that I was never put in that position myself, of having to take something from somebody else, that I have the wife I do, obedient, loving, loving, that my children had competent teachers, and for the remedy shown me in dreams when I was coughing blood, when my head was spinning, when I had an inclination to philosophy. I never fell into the hands of any sophists, that I didn't waste my time on writers of histories or on the resolutions of syllogisms, or occupy myself about the purification of appearances in the heavens. With all these things required help from the gods and fortune, thanks to the gods, they did all they could with their gifts, their inspiration, to ensure that I could live as nature demands. Thanks to the gods, they did all they could with their gifts, their help, inspiration, I could live as nature demands. Thanks to the gods. Thanks to the gods. Yeah. Damn, baby. Welcome to the Church of Meaning. What a beautiful feeling. Raise your hands to the ceiling and say hallelujah. Hey. Make some noise for Marcus Aurelius. 2,000-year-old bars. You know? That's how we get down. Smash that like. Share that link. Drop that link in the Discord, drop it in the chat group, whatever. Every like you smash, YouTube sends a notification, apparently. They're very stingy on that these days, but it doesn't matter. We keep moving regardless. We are blessed to have this opportunity. We are blessed to have this platform. We're blessed to have this internet connection. We're blessed to have each other. Incidentally, I had no plan on singing just then. I just had that music on as a background. And there's something about the psychotechnology of MEANINGWAVE wherein if you have the instrumentals on, the words from the vocal versions just come to you and they manifest, right? And you kind of want to get them out. It's kind of crazy. It's also crazy, right? Like, how else are you going to like be able to quote verbatim 2,000-year-old philosophical texts? That's a difficult thing to do with the modern mind, you know? The modern mind is somewhat fractured compared to the minds of old. That's partly to do with the internet. They did studies a decade ago which showed that people who multitask on the internet find it more difficult to focus on certain things for a long amount of time and to retrieve information. Part of it is because we outsourced those parts of our brains to Evernote and Google and things of that nature. And in doing so, we became superhumans in a way. We became closer to the gods who made us, but you know, we did lose some stuff as well. I've spoke about this before. The invention of the printing press was a wonderful thing and did wonderful, wonderful things, but we used to carry those books in ourselves. And we used to recite them. We used to sit around in circles and tell each other the stories that now we watch on our glowing boxes, you know? Everything we invent has unintended consequences. Unintended consequences. And every time something is created with the intention of hurting, it also creates unintended consequences that help. And the same on the other side around, the same on the opposite. The opposite is always true. That is the duality of this existence we're engaged in. We tread and we step onto the ground to take a step forward, a bold step forward towards our destiny. In doing so, we disrupt the ground. And, you know, we cause problems for some worms. Like, you know, the roof caves in on a worm's head. You ain't thinking about that when you're going for a jog, you know what I mean? You're like, I'm running, I'm bettering myself. Meanwhile, you're caving in loads of tunnels on loads of little worms. But that's just how it goes, baby. That's how we get down. Shouts out to BJB. Welcome to the channel. We have a new member on the channel. That means we get this noise. Yeah. Yeah, we do. Welcome to the wave, brother. Oh, sister. Why would I say BJB? I had a friend called BJ is the reason. One of my best friends, blonde Jeremy Deacon. We called him BJ. We knew a couple Jeremys, so he was blonde Jeremy. You know, there was drunk Jeremy and blonde Jeremy. Drunk Jeremy then later, you know, we sectioned his ass because he went crazy and he got into a 12-step program. And now he's very happy and he's got a kid and a wonderful woman and he's living La Vida Loca down by the sea, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. He used to be a preacher when he was a young man, my friend Jeremy. He was the youngest preacher in Penzance. He was a superstar in Penzance. He was like a child preacher. Everyone loved this tiny little boy who just spoke the word of God, but then later he got disillusioned and discovered Christopher Hitchens and became an atheist. Then he got into Serge Gainsbourg, and then he got into alcohol, you know? Then he went back to Jesus in his own way. We all go back in our own way. Hey. Shouts out to everybody locked in. Hit me up if you got any, if you want me to send a message to anybody special. We're about to go in on a special Eastern MEANINGWAVE set that was compiled by our good friend Diverting Tales. He sent me a list of MEANINGWAVE songs he thought would be good to play, and as usually was right, you know. He only missed a couple. There's like one song. I wonder if you can guess what it is. What song do you think it is of the Meaning Wave catalog that best represents Easter? We'll see if anyone knows that later on. Amanda says, "Happy Easter, everyone. I'm going to listen with the husband while we cook dinner." Isn't that beautiful? Shouts out to you and your family, Amanda. Cody says, "Happy Easter quarantine. Let's get it." Yeah, we getting it, baby. We getting it. We're regulating the vibes. We're regulating those Easter vibes. Hercules is really excited. Young Hercules, my son. He woke me up, jumping up and down on me. Injured my nuts again. I've got nuts of Teflon by this point. My goodness. My goodness. But, you know, he was all excited because apparently like an Easter bunny had come in the night, which is new on me, this whole Easter bunny thing, frankly. But the Easter bunny had come in the night and left eggs, left chocolate eggs and little ducks. Little yellow ducks all around the house, and Hercules had been hunting them down, you know. And he wanted me to help. He wanted me to hunt some eggs. He's very, very excited. He's mostly excited because, you know, we get to hang out as a family and not work. You know, Hercules always like, we do work a lot, you know, in our family. So Hercules really loves it when we don't, when we just hang out, you know, maybe watch a movie or, you know, play a game. He wants to play a board game. He's very excited. He's old enough now that he can kind of get his head around board games, you know, get competitive. Oh shit, that reminds me. Maybe we should do like a stream where we all play a board game. Arden says Conquer the Dragon or whatever it's called. That would be pretty Easter. I haven't got a song called Conquer the Dragon, but I should. I do have lots of songs about dragons getting conquered, though. That's true. That's not the one I'm thinking of. But, yeah. Small in Australia says all the ducks swimming around Don Studios. Truly they are. Quacking all over the place. Little yellow ducks. Small in Australia says Spirit of the Father. That's not the one I was thinking of, but that is one. That's why I played it first, you know. John Hannibal Smith says Jocko Unbroken equals Easter. In fact, when you think about it, so many of them do, because, you know, the Easter message is one of the most fundamental messages to our existence. That's why it's so important. That's why it's the basis of our whole defining religion for our culture, you know. Death and the rebirth. God disguising himself as a man, or God manifesting as a man, in order that man may truly understand his purpose and what man is for, you know. What is divine is full of providence. Hey, hey, hey. Jack Farr is grateful. We're grateful for you, Jack Farr. Mason says effortless action, indeed. Effortless action, Jack. And you know, because it's Easter, you know, because it's Easter. Yeah, Barrel says, what would you do if you were God? I mean, that's a great question, right? It's a question that Alan Watts asks on Watts Wave Dreams, their very epic album. He says, I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. What would you do if you were God? On the new album, he asks another question. He asks, what do people do most of the time? And what do people like to do really? What's your idea of heaven? What's your idea of heaven? I gotta say, the new Alan Watts album is stonking. It's ridiculous. My wife heard a bit of it last night, and she's like, oh, what's this you're listening to? I said, oh, this is the new Alan Watts album. She said, what? I didn't even recognize it as you. It's like, just like the song she heard is the huge pop single. If this was, who could you say? I mean, basically, if this was any modern pop star's single, it would be number one across the whole world for a year. It is ridiculous. And what's funny is there's a number of tracks on the album in that mold. There's a number of massive pop smashes on the album. There's a number of heartbreaking, just things of beauty. There's small, joyful, still moments. There's moments of quiet reflection. There's one particularly insane moment that is somewhere between peak psych rock and peak post rock and peak contemporary rap. Somewhere, but it's also the most sort of gospel record you might ever hear. So I'm very excited about that. That's going really well, and I'm nearly done with my work on it. Nearly done with my work on it. Yeah. Yo. Maybe. Smash that like. We're about to go in. We're at a strange time today. It's Sunday, and that's just beautiful, right? That's just a beautiful thing. That's just a beautiful thing. Do you know what? Since this is Sunday service at the Church of Meaning, I think it's important that I just get on with the show, and start bringing in our guest speakers. You've heard enough from me for now. You've heard enough from me for now, brothers and sisters. I would like to welcome to the stage the learned, the incredibly well-read. He spent most of his 20s just reading books in a small cabin. And that's how he managed to put two and two together and connect so much of our global culture and work out a lot of what's going on and a lot of what it all means. Here with some of the answers you seek is your friend of mine, Dr. Joseph Campbell.
Akira.
Many of you, I'm sure, have heard the saying that mythology is other people's religions. Now I'm going to ask you to put yourself in other people's shoes and have a look at your own as mythology. As mythology. What is this mystery that makes the human species bow before some sign of mystery? What is this mystery that makes the human species bow before some sign of mystery? Nietzsche has said, this is the age of comparison. It works on all levels. And in the realm of what I'm calling mythology, which many people call religions, there are cross-influences operating today that would have been thought impossible 100 years ago. Furthermore, it's good to recall, to remember, that our cultures and our races are very, very late arrivals in the history of the human species. And we already have very interesting evidence of religious or mythological practices in races long antedating for instance, in the high Alps.
Ooh, baby, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I got so excited, I got so excited, but one of our brothers made a very good point. One of our brothers said, we haven't done the international high five yet, and that's so true. It is very important. It is very important. Now, normally, what happens is we do the international high five, we see where everybody is, we get together, we make that connection. That's very important to do. We must do that. And we will. So we will do that. Thank you, brother, for pointing that out. We always normally wait for 100 likes before we start, but I was just like, shh, it's Easter, baby. It's Easter. We should just get this sermon cracking, But you're right. I mean, it's like, tradition is important. Tradition is very important. Tradition is, it's one of the things that binds us. We made our own traditions here. Some of the old traditions got yeeted, got abandoned, got left by the wayside. We've been building some of our own traditions here, and one of our traditions is indeed the International High Five. It is indeed the International High Five, so I want to know from you, in 2 words, one for each, where you are and what Easter means to you. Where you are and what Easter means to you. That's what I want to know, brothers and sisters. I need you to tell me that now. I need you to tell me that. I also need you to smash that like. If you are here and you've not smashed the like, smash that like. YouTube operates a strict 1 in, 1 out guest list policy. Well, 1 in, 1 like, 1 in. That's how it works. I don't know why. Exer says, all bow before the great primordial bear of meaning. That beautiful cave bear. John Hannibal Smith dropped a couple of ducks because that's wise. Mason says, this is the age of comparison. Works on all levels. That's right. Make some noise for Joseph Campbell, obviously. Barrel roller is in Denver and Easter means spring. That's what Easter means to barrel roller. Easter means spring. I'm in Los Angeles. Easter means resurrection. Easter means renewal. Easter means rebirth. Easter means decentralization. Yow! Pushing forward, South Carolina, importance of sacrifice. That's correct. MMP 2010 says Budapest, resurrection. Yes. Jason is in Chicago, says rebirth. Jason, tell me, why is it that more people in Chicago listen to MEANINGWAVE than any other city? I don't know why, but whenever I look at my Spotify statistics, there are more people listening to Chicago than in any other city on planet listening to MEANINGWAVE. One of them is you. Michael in Seattle is in Seattle and Easter means renewal. Cody is in Colorado and Easter means family. David is in Yorkshire and Easter means family. Arden is in Arizona. Easter means reclamation. Yay! Reclamation! Regulation of the reclamation. Mikhail Archangel from Tampa. It means new beginnings. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the new beginnings. Greg A. Rastafari, California, unconditional forging love. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, baby. John Hannibal Smith in Idaho says the voluntary acceptance and therefore transcendence of suffering. Yeah! One of the most epic lines ever to be uttered. I was very lucky enough to have Dr. Jordan B. Peterson utter it on one of my songs. Imagine that, imagine having such words uttered on your songs. Some people, they got Suck It and Chuck It Part 2. I got the voluntary acceptance and therefore transcendence of suffering. Yeah, baby. Multiverse Media Space is at home and the interconnectedness of us all. Yes. Amanda's in Charleston. Rebirth. Yes. Flip Lopez is in Chicago. Grace. Another of my Chicago family. What up, Chicago? I'm going to have to come visit. Greg A. Rastafari is forgiving. Yes. Tahani says Tennessee. Rebirth. Primal Movers. The epic. There's Norway. Chill. If you don't follow the Primal Movers Instagram account, you should. It's very epic. Very epic. You get to see my guy out in nature doing primal movements and like chucking rocks around and upending trees by the roots and stuff like that. It's very inspirational and joyful. It's very beautiful. Primal Movers, along with a large amount of the MEANINGWAVE community that I observe getting down on Instagram, sits at the intersection between physicality and mind. The intersection between the psychedelic and the physical. Which is an important juncture in our culture right now. It's kind of a big part of what's going on, a big part of where we're going, a big part of what's happening. So check out that Instagram account, Primal Movers. It's very good. Luke Bostwick is in Yorkshire. And he says here too. Small in Australia on the Sunshine Coast of Australia. Coping with struggle, yes. Drew JDT, St. Paul, Minnesota, spring snowstorm, yes. Tanner Lawrence, Chicago, another Chicago. Easter means that we all have our cross to bear. Yeah, baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh. J. Ram is in Riverside, says coolin'. Signs and Symbols, Mexico. Rise from... Where did it go? The chat just scrolled away from me before I could read that. Rise from the ashes. That's right, Mexico. Rise from those ashes. That's what we're doing, baby. We're building a new city upon the ashes of the old. And what a beautiful city it will be. Barrel Roller says transfiguration through prostration.
Yo, shouts out to the chat all day. What a beautiful chat.
What a beautiful thing. Yeah. Rock Bollinger says Yorkshire and Easter means chocolate. Shouts out to Yorkshire, keeping it real. Keeping it real. The orchestra in South Carolina says plaguing. 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 Nice. Yeah. Shouts out to the chat all day. What a good looking chat we got. Wayne Rowland says, hi Akira, looking good bro, you looking good. Love you. It never ceases to amaze me what an incredible community this is. I am so proud of this community. A beautiful, compassionate, considerate, loving, wise, smart, humble community. Could not ask for a better congregation of bad mama jammers on earth. Hell no. Heck no, gosh no. Greg A. Rastafari says, rise from the ashes with colored eggs and chocolate and quaking bunnies. Also Jesus. The whole squad, the whole crew, the whole gang, the whole Easter gang. Smash that like, baby. If you've not smashed the like yet, smash that like. Summon forth your brothers and sisters. We're about to go in with probably the deepest, epicest, most epic, most Homerian MEANINGWAVE live set that we've done yet. Broadcast live from the peak of recorded human history at Don Studios, the all-know Don Studios, the all-new Don Studios. Because Don Studios is where the heart is, and the heart is where I am and where you are, brothers and sisters. This is Don Studios. We are all Don Studios. John Hannibal Smith says, you're breathtaking. No, you're breathtaking. Yes is the actual answer. You're breathtaking. Yes, and you're breathtaking. We're taking breath. In, out. PL Silver says, today the stream was earlier. What? Earlier meaning? This is true. Normally we're at about 6 o'clock. Today we're at 3. This is so that I can spend a little time with my family and we can play some games together and watch some movies and hang out and chill. I hope you don't mind. I also thought that, like, you guys would be doing similar, you know? I thought, like, a day thing might work. Anyway, this is why it's important for you to be subscribed, for you to hit the notification bell so you get notified, and why it's important for you to join the Discord so you get pinged, you know, so you get the ping. Le ping. You know, you should get that ping. Why isn't my thing working? Speaking of pings, my look at this guy. Let me plug the thing in. This here, you see this? This guy. This is one of my favorite things. Not a lot of DJs have one of these. Most DJs, they got a couple of decks in the mixer, right? They don't have a rotary 16-knob rotary controller, which is mapped to a sequence of effects and parameters so that they may execute vibe regulation on a higher level.
Oh well, whatever. Chipotle, blue cheese, bacon, burger, and I'm gonna be okay. Really? No, I'm lying.
You know what I mean? Ooh, you just get to do this. You get to sculpt the sound. Yo, in my heart. Yo, with a band of angels. Band of angels. Yeah. Human Being says it's better for me in England 11:30 instead of 2 a.m. And no, that's one of my concerns. It's one of the things. It's basically, it's impossible for me to pick a time to stream where everybody can watch it. Which is why we made them available on the replay, even though that decimates the channel, it seems, in the algorithm. YouTube just doesn't like it if you post your streams. But whatever, man, we've got to be here for you on a daily basis. So here's the thing, if you can't see the stream live, you can at least switch it on when you wake up in the morning. And then you've got your own breakfast show. You've got your very own morning show just for you. You know? PL Silver says, I do not mind at all. I can see a movie later now and sleep earlier because of this. Total hype here. Good, I love you. Small in Australia says, dressed in your Sunday best today, Mr. Don. Of course, nothing but respect for you. Nothing but respect for you, my beautiful congregation. You know what I mean? I couldn't show up here in a t-shirt. That would be disrespectful. This is the house of the Lord. This is Sunday service at the House of Meaning. We do this every week. Oh, what a beautiful feeling. Raise your hands to the ceiling and say, Hallelujah! That's what we do. Yeah. Broken Umbrella says, thank you for posting them anyway. I watched during my morning workout. Nice. How was your morning workout today? Yesterday's stream was crazy. We did 4 hours. We did 4 hours. I did 3 DJ sets. I didn't even mean to do the third one. I just got caught up in a moment. Next thing I know, I'd been playing 90s hip-hop for an hour. And what's wonderful is it was kind of an experiment in, I was like, oh, let's just see what I can get away with here. The YouTube algorithm is very punishing, obviously, but like a lot of the main thing is that like certain music just literally gets your video blocked. For example, we had a video this week, it got blocked by the Vatican. If you're in the Vatican City, you can't watch that video. It's strange, I don't know why the Vatican specifically, Vatican City said, no, you're not having this one. So shouts out to, if you're in the Vatican and you're enjoying this stuff, and you're doing good, then shouts out to you. I mean, I know you exist. I see it in the stats. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Oi. Wayne Rollins says, I just sent you $23. Hope it helps. Yo, thank you, Wayne Rollins. It does help. It's, everything helps. It really does. That's the way we live. That's where we're at. Everything helps. We're in a brave new world, baby. We're building a new economy. We're going to have all new everything. It's going to be new money soon. It's going to be different. Everything's going to be different. We're in a transitional period. We're in a period, not transitional. We're in the rebirth. It's rebirth. It's, we're building the new world. We're being born. Yeah. Heaven can wait. John Hannibal Smith says the YouTube algorithm is the dragon of chaos. What I find is with these things, it's kind of best if you just ignore them and keep moving, in the manner of a shark. Just keep moving. We're here together. That's what matters, We're here together. And anyway, what I discovered last night was that I played 110 records, and I kind of edged it a bit. I played a few quite popular records. I played Got Your Money by the ODB. I played Return of the Mac by the Mac, the Mac. Return of the Mac would be a good song for today, huh? That's a good Sunday song. That's a good Easter Sunday song. Return of the Mac. Anyway, and the only one that blocked the stream got blocked after it was published. It got blocked in all countries because I played part of a remix of a Tony Braxton song. But there's a tool in the back of YouTube, and it's like now, and it's like you can just chop out the bit of the video with the offending thing, and then it'll publish the video. So I chopped that out. It took 7 hours to do. So the Tony Braxton song is gone, and everything else remains. So this means going forward, we can be a bit more experimental. We can do a bit more with it. We can play different types of music. It means Greg A. Rastafari, that reggae set you wanted to hear will happen now. We'll get a reggae set. We'll get a 90s hip-hop set. We'll get a 2010 swag rap set. We'll get a 70s disco funk set. We'll get a P-funk set. We're going to get all sorts of stuff, baby. I'm very excited. We're here every day. We're here every day, certainly. I don't know what the future holds, but we're certainly here for the next month. LA is in lockdown for the next month, which means I will be here. As long as the world is in lockdown, as long as my people are in lockdown, I will be here on a daily basis. What happens after that, we do not know. We will build this new world as we go, and I'll be doing it with you, with your feedback, with what you want and what you require built into that, baked into that, a big part of it. I'm here for you. I do not exist without you, But that's what's going to happen. Yeah, baby! So you go and let me know. I'll drop a thing, I'll drop a thing on the community tab. And we'll have a little vote on what kind of set, or a question, a Q&A on what sets you want to hear going forward, and I will plan out some rough ideas of beginning points. What I enjoyed about last night was somebody in the chat just said Shaolin Wave. That's all they said, and that immediately made me think of the Wu, obviously. And I played a song called Shaolin Worldwide by the Wu, which is a rare Wu song that I love. And then I just started playing stuff off the top of that. I bootlegged that with a MEANINGWAVE record, and then I just moved on from there. And next thing I knew, it was an hour later, and I was sweated through. I was sweated through like Saturday night in the club, And it was cool. It was cool. So yeah, beautiful things lay ahead of us here on the Meaning stream. Oh, did that change? No, that did not change yet. It still says quarantine stream at the top left there. I did change it, but it has not yet sort of carried across, I guess. It has not yet carried across. But it should be tomorrow. Anyway. I think we're about ready. Has anybody got anything they want to get off their chest or anything they want to know? before we go in on this special Easter Sunday MEANINGWAVE Live? Anybody let me know? Davey G says prayers for all of you. Thank you, Davey G. Cody Taylor says vibes. Thank you, Cody Taylor. We appreciate you, Cody Taylor. Vibes is always the thing. Yeah. Orange Flames says, I'm scared but excited for this rebirth. That's fair. I'm purely excited. But scared is okay. You know, we are stepping into the unknown. But we needed to, right? Can anyone here say, hand on heart, that what we had was perfect? It was great. It was the best it had ever been. But there was a lot of it that was imperfect. A lot of it that was unholy. A lot of it that was ungodly, certainly, you know. A lot of it was not vibes. And we don't have to accept that. We don't have to accept that. Now, what you don't want to do, you know, is just throw away everything, burn it all down and start again from nothing. No. You want to hold on to what was good. You want to work out, okay, what was good, what's worth keeping, what's worth retrieving. What did we lose along the way that we need to go back and get, to go back and reclaim and bring with us so that we can boldly step into this new future, into this new paradigm, this new life. This resurrection of the Logos, of the Christ consciousness, of the Spirit of the Father, all of them things, you know? And that's what we've been doing, you know? And we know, we've been noticing, we've been paying attention, and we've been having this conversation in public over the last few years, you know? What are those things that are absent? What are those things that we cast aside? We threw out the baby with the bath water. And that's not a nice thing to do to a baby. You don't want to be chucking babies out with bath water. You know what I mean? Babies are sacred things. Babies are all potential. Babies are everything. Babies are the whole God and the whole universe, all in one little squidgy little thing. You know? We threw the babies out with the bathwater. No more. No more. Yeah. We will look and we'll say, okay, what was good, what was worthwhile, and we will keep everything that was good and worthwhile, and we'll integrate the whole thing, and we will step forward. Yeah! Glenn Burnett says, you got to do the archaic revival. You got to do the archaic revival. You got to step back into the past and find what is necessary for now, because we left a load of stuff in our, you know, in our relentless pursuit of progress above all else, which we've been engaged in very, very hardcore since the Second World War. You know, we let a lot of stuff slide. We let go of a lot of things that we had spent thousands of years putting together, hundreds of thousands of years putting together. We foolishly cast those aside, and that led to a lot of our problems. But none of these are things that we cannot overcome together, and none of these are things that cannot be fixed. But part of that involves going into the past and bringing back that which we need today. And like I always say, part of the way you can do that is you can use music to do it in your own life. Because we've all let things go in our own lives. Who was talking about recently? One thing that you do in a later stage of life is you go back to the child. And you see what the child had to say that you forgot. And you sacrificed on the altar of your own progress and becoming an adult. You know? I wrote a song many, many years ago called Unlearning. That was about that. It was about this thing that we do and this thing that we have to do. This unlearning process. Or the what would the word be? You get kind of, you know, society smashes all these things into a small, wet, squidgy head. Everyone is a non-localized receiver, a wet-brained receiver of non-localized consciousness. That's one way of putting it. And the receiver gets dirty and it gets muddied, you know, over years of you know, exposure to certain things. So sometimes in life you have to do a process of unlearning, of cleaning the room of your mind from all this filth, and remembering the things that you knew as a child. That you just knew. You knew them fundamentally. You knew them inherently. You'd always known them. They got smashed out of you by morons. They're still there. You remember everything you ever see. You walk into a room, you look around, every bit of that information goes and it stays there forever. You just got to work out how to retrieve it. And there are hacks. There are hacks for doing that. One of those hacks is music. And with that in mind, I would like to say blessings to one and all. Thank you for being here. I'm very glad you're here, and it is my honor to present to you. It is my great honor to present to you the first of our speakers. We have many speakers today, just as there are many rooms in the mansion. There are many speakers. There are many speakers on the stage tonight, and the first is our friend, my friend, and yours, Dr. Joseph Campbell.
Akira. It's for the heroes.
Many of you, I'm sure, have heard the saying that mythology is other people's religions. Now I'm going to ask you to put yourself in other people's shoes and have a look at your own as mythology. As mythology. What is this mystery that makes the human species bow before some sign of mystery? What is this mystery that makes the human species bow before some sign of mystery? Nietzsche has said, this is the age of comparison. It works on all levels. And in the realm of what I'm calling mythology, which many people call religions, there are cross-influences operating today that would have been thought impossible 100 years ago. Furthermore, it's good to recall, to remember, that our cultures and our races are very, very late arrivals in the history of the human species. And we already have very interesting evidence of religious or mythological practices in races long antedating ours. For instance, in the high Alps that were discovered in the 20s in very small caves right below the ice level of the glaciers, little shrines containing the skulls of cave bears. Now, during the course of the last glaciation, the Würm glacial period, those caves were covered with ice. No one could have gone there. And after the time of that glaciation, there were no cave bears in the world. So these little shrines with these cave bear skulls and little fires and little instruments of showing that there had been worship practiced there date from 200,000 years ago.
Yeah.
200,000 years ago. What is this mystery that makes the human species bow before some sign of mystery? What is this mystery that makes the human species bow before some sign of mystery? What is this mystery? Yeah! What is this mystery? Each of us has been brought up
looking at it from another way.
in some tradition that has its imagery.
If, looking at it from another way, we push technology to its furthest possible development, and we had, instead of a dial telephone on one's desk, a more complex system of buttons, and one touch, beep, would give you anything you want. And that is love. You would eventually have to introduce a button labeled surprise. 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 Because all perfectly known
futures, as I pointed out, are past. They have happened, virtually. It is only the true future is a surprise. It is only the true future is a surprise. So if you were God, you would say to yourself, man, get lost. And it's strange that this idea is obscurely embedded in the Christian tradition, when in the Epistle to the Philippians, St. Paul speaks of God the Son, the Logos, the Word of God, who is incarnate in Christ, and says, let this mind be in you which was also in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God, thought not equality with God a thing to be clung to, but made himself of no reputation, and humbled himself, and was found in fashion as a man, and became obedient to death. Same idea. Same idea as the idea of the dream. That very far out dream. Same idea as the idea of the dream. That very far out dream. Same idea as the idea of the dream. That very far out dream. Same idea as the idea of the dream. Getting as extreme as you can get. As you can get. As you can get.
That means in practice then, that when you hand over your vocation in life, which is called your swadharma, that means sva, that's the same as the Latin suus, one's own. Dharma means function, your own function, or we would call your vocation. When you've completed it, you drop out.
And become nobody. Now, naturally, caste, holy men, and all that kind of thing can be exploited. Anything can be exploited and abused. And we can look at it all and say, what a mess. Why don't you do something for yourselves? Why don't you kill the sacred cows and eat them? Why don't you clean up? Why do you permit all this disease? I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to. Just try and see something from another point of view for a change. I'm not saying that we should do what the Hindus do, but just look at it from another point of view. And they would smile at us and say, you really think it's as real as all that? Have you never experienced what's on the inside of this game? See, the trouble with you Westerners is you've never experienced this. You never got down to the root of reality. You don't know that state of consciousness. And so you're frantically trying to patch everything up and pin it all together and screw the universe up so that it's fixed. You can never do it. All it is go wildly rushing around and creating trouble. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to, any dream you wanted to. Of course, Western educated Hindus think the same way. They're now for rushing around and patching India up. And what's going to happen is they're going to arm all the millions of people in India. And they're going to create a lot of trouble in Asia one of these days when they become a powerful society. When you read Milton's Paradise Lost, Long before Lucifer decided to rebel, the whole of heaven was armed. And he describes the legions of angels with their escutcheons and gonfalons and military deportment. Who was looking for trouble? Who was looking for trouble? I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 So the Hindu looks at our Christianity and sort of thinks, my goodness. Here is the eternal self. But in the idea of Christianity, the Godhead is having a real far out. Because not only is he incarnating himself, say, as some wretched beggar, but he's incarnated himself as a Christian soul who believes that in this one short life he will decide his eternal destiny. And the possibilities of making a mistake are far greater than of being a lousy beggar. The possibility involved in the Christian gamble is to fry in hell forever and ever and ever and ever. Even the Avicii hell at the bottom of the Naraka only goes on for about one kalpa. But the everlasting damnation, what an idea. So the Hindu says, bravo, you know. God has really done it there on himself this time.
Yeah.
I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. Any dream you wanted to. Any dream you wanted to. Any dream you wanted to.
Of the high cultures and low cultures, primitive cultures and charming, simple cultures, great, big, enormous ones, have grown out of myths. They are founded on myths. And what these myths have given has been inspiration for aspiration. Now, where do these aspirations come from? They come from a very wonderful, childlike thing. Fascination. Woo! You know, if you wanted to make money today, I'm no economist, but I'll bet the thing to do would be to invest your money in something like cameras. Things that people play with. Things that they're fascinated by. These fascinations are the creations of new activities. And when we look at the old cultures, we can see
What?
all cultures have grown out of myth.
I said,
Cultures, they are founded on myth. And what these myths have given
has been inspiration for aspiration.
and some of it is very strange to see
Yeah.
indeed. What is most fascinating to begin with is one's neighbor, particularly if the neighbor is a very strange-looking creature. Now think of man in the old days. He was a minority on the planet. And when he looked at his neighbors, they had 4 feet, they had horns, they had great woolly bodies. They were very strange playmates. Furthermore, he was eating certain of them, and they were rather dangerous.
Yeah.
He had to arrange some kind of arrangement with his neighbor. And we know that the first religious rites and the first religious address, so to say, was to animals, their neighbors. These were the images of God. All cultures have grown out of myth. All cultures, they are founded on myth.
And what these myths have given has been inspiration for aspiration. Aspiration.
The animal world was the first inspiration, and the divinities were animal divinities. And not only that, but just as kids, when they identify with something, when they are fascinated by something, they act like it, they play it. So, the original rituals, the hunting people danced buffalo dance. They were in covenant with the animal world. That through this covenant, the animals gave their bodies willingly to be eaten. Because only the body dies, the being comes back. If you return the blood of the animal to the earth, the life is in the blood. The earth is the mother of life, and the animal will be back next year.
Hey.
All cultures have grown out of myth. All cultures, they are founded on myth. And what these myths have given
has been inspiration for aspiration. Aspiration.
people lived then in the plant world, the world of the tropics, where nature was a plant world. They saw something else. They saw that out of rot, out of decay, there comes life. There comes life. And this notion that out of death comes life becomes a very important thing in the tropical cultures. And it led to what is a very powerful pattern of rituals. Rituals of human sacrifice, killing people, letting them rot, burying them, with the notion that out of this death there would come life. All cultures have grown out of myth. All cultures, they are founded on myth. And what these myths
have given has been inspiration for aspiration. Aspiration.
all cultures have grown out of myth.
I said all
Cultures, they are founded on myth. And what these myths have given
has been inspiration for aspiration. Aspiration. Make some noise to Joseph Campbell, brothers and sisters. Joseph Campbell in the house.
People often ask me, do you believe in God? I don't like that question. First of all, it's an attempt to box me in a sense. And the reason that it's an attempt to box me in is because the question is asked so that I can be firmly placed on one side of a binary argument. The reason I don't like to answer it is because A, I don't like to be boxed in, and B, because I don't know what the person means by believe or God. And they think they know. And the probability that they construe belief and construe God the same way I do is virtually zero. It's a question that doesn't work for me on multiple levels of analysis, but strangely enough, just as we were talking, the answer to that question popped into my head. I act as if God exists. 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 Now you can decide for yourself whether that means that I believe in Him, so to speak. But I act as if He exists. Then with regards to these other issues, the divinity of Christ, I would say the same. Problems with the question formulation obtain. What do you mean by divine? And also, what do you mean by Christ? These are very, very difficult questions. Now, I believe that the Logos is divine. If by divine you mean of ultimate value, of ultimate transcendent value, yes, it's divine. It's associated with death and rebirth. Clearly, I act as if God exists because the Logos dismantles you and rebuilds you. I act as if God exists. That's what happens when you make an error. When you make an error, some part of you has to. I act as if God exists. That's a sacrifice. You have to let it go. Sometimes it's a big part of you. I act as if God exists. Sometimes it can be such a big part of you that you actually die. Instead of dying and being reborn. Is there something more than merely metaphorical about the idea of dying and being reborn? Yes, there is. Because those are associated with physiological transformations. What's the ultimate extent of that? That's a good question. What happens to the world around you as you increasingly embody the Logos? We don't know. We don't know. I act as if God exists. I act as if God exists. I act as if God exists. As if God exists. The hypothesis is that there has been one or two individuals who managed that, and that in their management of that, they transcended death itself. So what do you mean by transcended death? Well, in the case of Christ, let's assume he was a historical figure. Is his resurrection real? Well, his spirit lives on. That's certainly the case. Let's imagine that a spirit is a pattern of being. Patterns can be transmitted across multiple substrates. Vinyl, air, vibrations in your ear. It's all the translation of what you might describe as a spirit. It's that pattern. It's independent of its material substrate. Well, Christ's spirit lives on. It's had a massive effect across time. Well, is that an answer to the question? Did his body resurrect? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happens to a person if they bring themselves completely into alignment. I've had intimations of what that might mean. We don't understand the world very well. We don't understand how the world could be mastered if it was mastered completely. We don't know how an individual might be able to manage that. We don't know what transformations that might make possible. Hey. I act as if God exists.
have today.
Yeah.
This is the real me, obviously.
David Goggins to
I'm
the
a very
stage. Yeah.
philosophical person. And I'm gonna go there with you real quick. I believe in higher power. Don't know the name, don't know where it's coming from, don't anything like that. But I believe that this power, and visualize me real quick. Let's say it's a man up there or a woman, whatever, and they have a chart. And when you're born, they say David Goggins. Born February 17, 1975 at 6 a.m. They write the chart down because they can see everything. They know exactly where you're fucking supposed to be. They know where you're supposed to be. You die, you go to so-called heaven. You arrive at heaven, I'm 300 pounds. I retired as an Ecolab guy, which is okay, it's just a job, whatever. I go up there and God looks at me and he shows me my chart. And my chart on there says you were supposed to be a Navy SEAL. You're supposed to weigh 185 pounds. You're supposed to be one of the smartest people on the planet, this, all this. You see this. And now you're in heaven, you made it to heaven, but you're like, God, I thought I was supposed to live that life. I was supposed to live that life. And then you find out that the reason why, because we all think that if we pray on it, if we do this, if we do that, whatever, if we don't work, whatever, it's gonna magically happen for us. No. I believe that when I'm all said and done with, my whole job is to outwork the chart. You know what the fucking chart says about me? The all-knowing power up there? I want to get up there and him look at me and say, I know everything. I didn't fucking see this. I didn't fucking see this. I want to feel that. Yeah! I know everything. I didn't fucking see this.
David Goggins!
I didn't fucking see this.
Damn, baby!
I want to feel that. I want to get to the other end of this fucking world, and wherever I'm being judged, whoever's judging me, to look at me and say, I did not fucking know. I had you at 185, I had you at this, but all this other shit, I was riding as you were living it. I want to find more. All I can. And in that fucking sack of shit, you have to dive in that to find more. Because if you're not willing to go in there and face yourself, you're not gonna find anything. You're gonna live right here on surface, man, right here on surface. So if there is an ending to this world, and there is somewhere to go, and there's a judgment, you're gonna get there and you might see a chart. And that chart might tell you who the fuck you should have been. And now you get the rest of your life to think about that. Man, I could have lived a much better life if I just would have just suffered a little bit more. If I just would have went in that shit and realized I had so much more. But fear and the 40% and living here versus living here, being afraid, stop me. So that's, I'm a big guy in visualizing. I'm a big guy in making a world, it may not exist. To me it does. To me it does. And I'm overpowering myself every day. And you gotta find tools to do that. That's the tool that I use. So that's what it's all about. I believe that when I'm all said and done with, my whole job is to outwork the chart. You know what the fucking chart says about me? The all-knowing power up there? I want to get up there and him look at me and say, I know everything. I didn't fucking see this. I didn't fucking see this. I want to feel that. I know everything. I didn't fucking see this. I didn't fucking see this. I want to feel that. 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 I want to feel that.
Just as everybody locked in, this is MEANINGWAVE Live. Resurrection Special.
Because it is good.
Yo.
What is human deserves our affection.
Because it is like us. What is designed deserves our respect because it is good.
What is human deserves our affection because it is like us.
Yo, nothing is more pathetic than people who run around in circles, delving into the things that lie beneath, and conducting investigation into the souls of the people around them, when all you have to do is pay attention to the power inside you and worship it sincerely. Keep it becoming muddled with turmoil, becoming aimless and dissatisfied with nature. Just worship it sincerely. Keep it becoming muddled with turmoil, becoming aimless and dissatisfied with nature. Divine and human deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is about us. What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Hey.
Man like Marcus Aurelius, make some goddamn noise for yourself, baby.
Hey. Bop, bop, bop. Wave emojis in the chat, let's go.
And I pity too, sometimes, for his inability to tell good from bad is terrible. A blindness, that's the kind that can't tell white from black. Even if you're gonna live 3,000 more years or 10 times that, remember, you can't lose another life than this one. You can't live another down, you're losing. Longest demands are the same as the shortest. The present is the same for everyone. His lust is the same for everyone. And it should be clear that a brief instant is all that is lost. Cause you can't lose either past or the future. How could you lose what you don't have? Remember two things. One, everything has always been the same. 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 Keeps recurring, ay. Everything has always been the same. 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 Keeps recurring, what is divine? Yo! What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. Yeah! Yeah! Everything has always been the same. 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 Everything is hate. The longest lived and those who will die soonest lose the same thing. The present is all they can give up. The present is all you can give up. Since that's all you have, and what you do not have, you cannot lose. Since that's all you have, and what you do not have, you cannot lose. That's all you have, and what you do not have, you cannot lose.
Make some noise to Marcus Aurelius up in this place. Next to the stage, Alan Watts. Make some noise to Alan Watts. And the building.
Akira.
Here in the Church of Meaning today. This beautiful day here at the peak of recorded human history. Let's go!
You know the old question. If a tree crashes in a forest, and there is nobody around to hear it, is there a noise? This question has been discussed in many futile ways. But noise, basically, is a state of affairs that requires an eardrum and an audio nervous system behind the eardrum. When the tree falls, it makes the air vibrate. If there is anywhere around an ear with the appropriate nervous system, there will be a noise. Because noise is a relationship between motion in the air and ears. If there is not any ear around, there won't be any noise, although there will be vibration in the air. And if there is some instrument around, such as a microphone attached to a tape recorder, there will be noise. There will be a vibration. There will be light. In the darkness. In the same way, let's suppose the sun sends out light into space. Now, the space surrounding the sun will be black darkness as if there were no light in it, unless a planet happens to float by. When a planet floats by, there will be light.
Yeah.
In the darkness. But if there isn't anything to relate to the sun in that way, then comes no light. Now this goes right down to the root and ground of everything. It goes down to the essence of your nerves, your whole being. That it's all an interdependence.
Yeah!
There will be noise. There will be a vibration. There will be light.
There will be light.
In the darkness.
In the darkness.
There will be noise.
There will be
a vibration.
A vibration.
There will be light.
There will be light.
In the darkness.
In the darkness.
And that's why one of the basic symbols of the universe is the Chinese yin-yang symbol, which you know is a circle with an S curve in the center. One side of the S is black, the other is white. So it makes, as it were, two commas or two fishes. And the eye of the fish is the opposite color. The white fish has a black eye, the black fish has a white eye, curling in on each other. Called a helix. And that is the fundamental form of the galaxies, the great nebulae we see out in space. And this is basically to the position of sexual intercourse. This is love mating. And this is, you know, when you hold hands and so on. This is it. This is it. There will be noise. There will be a vibration. There will be light. In the darkness.
In the darkness.
There will be noise. There will be a vibration. There will be light.
There will be light.
In the darkness.
In the darkness. There will be noise. A vibration. There will be light. In the darkness.
But there are two involved. And the two are secretly one.
Hey, make some noise for all the West brothers and sisters. Step into the stage. Dr. Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah. Welcome to the Church of Meaning. What a beautiful feeling. Raise your hands to the ceiling. Say hallelujah.
We've gotten soft as a culture in the U.S. Because the U.S. has had an incredible 200-year run, right? Like, this is just what happens. And that's a great thing. That means there's been enormous amounts of prosperity. But let's not be naive. I mean, people literally complain when somebody gives them the wrong amount of, like, extra cream in a Starbucks $6 coffee. My lack of interest in complaining is so high, and when I watch what people complain about, it breaks my heart because they completely lack perspective. I genuinely believe my happiness and optimism comes from my perspective. Even in political unrest times like right now, a lot of people are very bent out of shape, but the reality is that it's just never been better. It's just never been better to be a human being. It's just never been better. That's just the truth. That's just data. That's reality. It's just never been better to be a human being. It's just never been better
back to the stage, Marcus Aurelius. He's gonna infiltrate my shell, my humble shell. He's gonna come in, bless me with his knowledges. Hey, 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 hey.
I had good grandparents, a good mother and father, a good sister, good teachers, good servants, relatives, friends, nearly everything good. And that I never lost control of myself with any of them, although I had it in me to do that, and I might have easily. But thanks to the gods, I was never put in that position, and so I escaped that test. I was never put in that position, and so I escaped that test. And that I wasn't longer raised by my granddad's girlfriend. I didn't lose my virginity too early, and didn't enter adulthood until it was time. Hell, I put it up that I had someone as a ruler and father who could keep me from arrogance, to live in a palace without bodyguards, without fancy dresses or torches or statues or such like show, that you can live much like a regular person, not remiss in action or careless a ruler when carrying out official obligations. I had the kind of brother I did, one whose character challenged me to improve my own, one whose love and affection enriched my whole life, that my children weren't born stupid or physically deformed, that I wasn't more talented in rhetoric or poetry, they couldn't consume me if I had sin progress, might never have given them up, that I confide on the people who brought me up, the honors that they seemed to want early on, instead of putting them off since they were still young, with the hope that I'd do it later, that I knew Apollonius and Rusticus and Maximus, that I was shown clearly and often what it would be like to live as nature requires. Thanks to the gods, they did all they could through their gifts, their help, their inspiration, to ensure that I could live as nature demands. Thanks to the gods, they did all they could through their gifts, their help, their inspiration, to ensure that I could live as nature demands. And if I fail, it's no one's fault but mine, 'cause I didn't pay attention to what they told me, to what they taught me, practically step by step, that my body has held up for so long through such a life, that I never laid a finger on Benedicta or Theodotus. Even later I was overcome by passion, I recovered, even though I often quarreled with Rusticus. I never did nothing that I regretted later. And though my body died young, she spent her last years with me, and if I ever was to have a man in need, I was never told that I had not the means, that I was never put in that position myself, of having to take something from somebody else, that I have the wife I do, obedient, loving, humble, that my children had competent teachers, and for the remedy shown me in dreams, when I was coughing blood, when my head was spinning, when I had an inclination to philosophy, I didn't fall into the hands of any sophist, that I didn't waste my time on writers of history, or in the resolution of syllogisms, or occupy myself about an investigation of appearances in the heavens. For all these things require the help of the gods and fortune. Thanks to the gods, they did all they could through their gifts, their help, their inspiration, to ensure that I could live as nature demands. Thanks to the gods, they did all they could through their gifts, their help, their inspiration,
Make some noise for yourself. This is the Church of Meaning. It's a beautiful day to be alive right here at the peak of recorded human civilization. Ain't nowhere else I'd rather be than right here, right now with you, baby, and you know that's the truth. Yeah! Yeah!
Joseph Campbell back to the stage. Let's get it. Yeah.
What happens is that the old fascination disappears, an echo remains, and you. The old fascination disappears, an echo remains. The old fascination disappears, an echo remains, and the vestige of a mythology. The problem of our present age is to recreate the mythology for today, on which people will live, on which the society will grow. It is being done. It's being done well. People aren't always looking in the right place for it, but it is taking shape. Our great artists,
Akira.
our great poets, our great scientists, Erwin Schrödinger's little book, My View of the World. This is a vision of a poet and of a first-rate physical scientist, and it has the same song in it that one reads and hears in the old Upanishads and in the sayings of the great prophets. Nature is still ours.
It's still us. It is in us. It is in the universe. Nature is still us. It's still us. It is in us. It is in the universe.
Secondary to that is the social situation. Now in our society, the social problem is turned over largely to the police and to Congress. It's a purely practical matter. However, the creatures that constitute the society, these are today the neighbors. They really are. The idea of a personal God living somehow, somewhere else, out there. There is no out there anymore. There's no more up there. It's awfully difficult to validate.
Hey.
But it seems to me if one's looking for the personality of God, it's right here in the multitudinous personalities of those around us. Nature is still ours.
It's still us. It is in us.
It is in the universe.
Nature is still ours. It's still us. It is in us. It is in the universe.
Everything I find in the poets and the scientists who push through to this mystery points not to the animals as our neighbors, not to the plant, not to the planet, but to that other one, the thou whom you face, who's not the thou you would want him to be. He's other. And it's that recognition of otherness that is absolutely basic and necessary. Now this doesn't mean that you have to give up your otherness in recognition of him. There may darn well be collision. But it's got to be collision with and respect.
Joseph Campbell, brothers and sisters.
Slave.
Back! Jordan Peterson back to the stage.
A slave.
Oh, shoot. Retain what's good.
That's a very interesting idea. It's particularly germane, I think, to our current cultural situation. We're pushed constantly to see the nakedness of our father, so to speak, because of the intense criticism that's directed towards our culture, the patriarchal culture, so to speak. We're constantly exposing its weaknesses and vulnerabilities and, let's say, nakedness. There's nothing wrong with criticism, but the thing about criticism is the purpose of criticism is to separate the wheat from the chaff. It's not to burn everything to the ground, right? It's to say, well, we're going to carefully look at this. We're going to carefully differentiate. We're going to keep what's good and we're going to move away from what's bad. But the point of the criticism isn't to identify everything as bad. It's to separate what's good from what's bad so that you can retain what's good and move towards it. Retain what's good and move towards it. So that you can retain what's good and move towards it. Retain what's good and move towards it. And to be careless at that is deadly because you're inhabited by the spirit of the Father, right? Insofar as you're a cultural construction, to be disrespectful towards that means to undermine the very structure that makes you not all of what you are, certainly a good portion of what you are. If you pull the foundation out from underneath that, what do you have left? You can hardly manage on your own. It's just not possible. You're a cultural creation. You're a cultural creation.
Yeah.
Retain what's good and move towards it. Retain what's good and move towards it. So that you can retain what's good and move towards it. 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 So that you can retain what's good and move towards it. Retain what's good and move towards it.
Hey! Yo, shouts out to Noah. My guy Noah. 900 years of being a bad mama jamma.
And so Ham makes this desperate error and is careless about exposing himself to the vulnerability of his father, or something like that. He does it without sufficient respect. And the judgment is that not only will he be a slave, but so will all of his descendants. And he's contrasted with the other two sons who, I suppose, are willing to give their father the benefit of the doubt, something like that. And so when they see him in a compromising position, they handle it with respect and don't capitalize on it. And maybe that makes them strong. That's what it seems to me. And so I think that's what that story means. It has something to do with respect. Something to do with respect. It was something to do with respect. Something to do with respect. You know, and the funny thing about having respect for your culture, and I suppose that's partly why I'm doing the biblical stories, is because they're part of my culture.
Yeah.
They're part of our culture, perhaps, but they're certainly part of my culture. And it seems to me that it's worthwhile to treat that with respect, to see what you can glean from it. And not kick it when it's down, let's say. It has something to do with respect. Something to do with respect. It's something to do with respect. Something to do with respect. It has something to do with respect. Something to do with respect. It was something to do with respect. Hey, something to do with respect. So that's how the story of Noah ends. The thing too is Noah is actually a pretty decent incarnation of the spirit of the Father, which which I suppose is one of the things that makes Ham's misstep more egregious. I mean, Noah just built an ark and got everybody through the flood, man, you know? It's not so bad, and so maybe the fact that he happened to drink too much wine one day wasn't enough to justify humiliating him. And you know, I don't think it's pushing the limits of symbolic interpretation to note on a daily basis that we're all contained in an ark. You could think about that as the ark that's been bequeathed to us by our forefathers. That's the tremendous infrastructure that we inhabit, that we take for granted, because it works so well. That protects us from things that we can't even imagine, and we don't have to imagine because we're so well protected.
Something to do with respect. Something to do with respect. It was something to do with respect. Hey, make some noise to Jordan Peterson and yourself. Da 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 da.
He's got clout.
Yeah, big facts. Okay, what do we say?
When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this cause they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own. Not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. Not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. So none of them can hurt me. No one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions. Discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods
From the bottom of your heart.
Discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Whatever this is that I am, it is flesh, a little spirit,
And intelligence.
Yo, throw away your books. Stop letting yourself be distracted. That is not allowed. Instead, as if you were dying right now, despise your flesh, a mess of blood, pieces of bone, a woven tangle of nerves, veins, arteries. Consider what the spirit is.
Air.
And never the
Same air.
but vomited out and gulped in again every instant. Finally, the intelligence. Think of it this way. You're an old man. Stop allowing your mind to be a slave, to be jerked about by selfish impulses, to kick against fate and the present, to mistrust the future. What is divine is full of providence. Even chance is not divorced from nature, from the inweaving and infolding of things governed by providence.
Everything proceeds from it.
And then there is necessity and the needs of the whole world, of which you are a part. Whatever the nature of the whole does and whatever serves to maintain it is good for every part of nature. The world is maintained by change in the elements and in the things they compose. That should be enough for you. Treat it as an axiom.
Treat it as an axiom. Yo!
Discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Oh, what a glorious thing, waking up in the morning, baby. Oh, what what a glorious thing. You get to have the whole day. Hey, oh, what a glorious thing. Waking up in the morning, baby. Oh, what a glorious thing. Get to have the whole.
Discard your fight to books so you won't die in bitterness. Fight cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Discard your fight for books so you won't die in bitterness. Fight cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Hey, to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Remember how long you've been putting this off? How many extensions the gods gave you and you didn't use them? At some point you have to recognize what world it is that you belong to.
Yeah.
What power and from what source you spring. That there's a limit to the time assigned to you.
Yeah.
And if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and will never return.
Yeah! Welcome to the Church of Meaning. Raise your hands to the ceiling. What a beautiful feeling. Hallelujah! Life is good, baby. Could have been a tree.
Akira.
You know the vibes. Yeah.
Gratitude.
And gratitude.
On that 400 trillion to one thing, I'm grateful. Straight up, like I don't know what to say. Like you might have not been born, right? Like your dad could have been late to the apartment that day. On some real shit. Like I don't think people would contextualize perspective. Like what? Like you're alive. Like you're alive. You could have been a tree. You could have like right? Like
yeah.
This is cool. Like
life is good.
Life is good.
Like it's cool to have one. It's cool to have one. Life is good. Life is good. Like it's cool to have one.
That's the one.
Hey. Big facts. Big facts to my guys.
It does seem to me that anyone who lives in the West, in the Western culture, this time in history, and in this place, and who isn't simultaneously grateful for that, is half blind, at least. Because it's never been better than this, and it could be so much worse. It's never been better than this, and it could be so much worse. It's never been better than this, and it could be so much worse. So much worse. So much worse.
There was a paper published in Nature not so long ago, stating, for example, that an area twice the size of the US has greened in the last 15 years. There's more forests in the Northern Hemisphere than there were 100 years ago, and more forests in India and China than there were 30 years ago. And then this has gone along with a massively improved standard of living. The child mortality rate in Africa is now the same as it was in Europe in 1952, which is a statistic that I just regard as absolutely miraculous. The rate of poverty is diminishing at an amazing rate, right? Between 2000 and 2012, we have poverty.
It's never been better than this, and it could be so much worse. It's never been better than this, and it could be so much worse. It's never been better than this, and it could be so much worse. So much worse. So much worse.
First, I want to thank you because I am a stage 4 cancer survivor. And in my darkest hours that a lot of people can't comprehend, you were there. You know, I'm going to live life. I'm going to live my days. How did you get from, I don't know if I'm going to come out of this battle. I don't know if I'm going to come home. How did you get from the darkest places to the brightest places?
Sam Harris said to me, you talk about combat as your fondest memories, the best thing that's happened in your life, it's the high point of your life, which is all true. And he said, but then you talk about war being awful. So, which one is it? I said to him, have you ever known anyone that has had cancer? Terminal cancer. And made it through. Have you ever known anyone that's happened? And he's like, yes. And I said, when you talk to them, many times, they say, I'm glad that this happened to me. Number one, because it proved I could take it. Number two, it's better me than one of my kids. And number three, now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. Now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. That's what combat is and was for me. That's what it was. It was dark and hard, and I wouldn't wish anyone, just like you wouldn't wish cancer on anyone. But if I can give them a little knowledge, a little bit of a glimpse into what it is, when you said that, people are clapping because they get to see a little bit of it. And they go home tonight and they think, oh, what about that girl? What about that girl? She's fighting. She's living. And I'm gonna live too. And I'm gonna live too. Now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. Now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. I don't pretend to have the cognitive capacity to comprehend the mysteries of the world. But maybe you're right. And maybe you're here to let us know that it can get dark, but it will get light again. Now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. Now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light.
Jocko Willing, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Marcus Aurelius, some have said. Some of him have likened. Some have likened it to that.
Akira.
He's got clout.
Love my family.
Truth and justice.
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 Love my family.
Love my family.
Truth and justice.
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 Love my family.
Yeah.
My brother Severus. It was through him I encountered Thracia, Helvidius, Cato, Dion, Brutus, and conceived of a society of equal laws governed by equality of status and of speech, and of rulers who respect the liberty of their subjects above all else, and from him as well to be steady and consistent in valuing philosophy and to help others and be eager to share, not be a pessimist, never to doubt your friend's affection for you. And when people incurred his disapproval, they always knew it. They always knew it. And that his friends never had to speculate about his attitude to anything. It was always clear.
Love my family, truth and justice. 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 To help others and be eager to share. To help others and be eager to share. To help others and be eager to share. To help others and be eager to share,
Maximus, self-control and resistance to distractions, optimism in adversity, especially illness, a personality in balance, dignity and grace together,
doing your job without whining.
Other people's certainty that what he said was what he thought and what he did was done without malice. Never taken aback or apprehensive, neither rash nor hesitant, or bewildered, or at a loss. Not obsequious, but not aggressive or paranoid either. Generosity, charity, honesty. The sense he gave of staying on the path, not being kept on it. That no one could have ever felt patronized by him, or in a position to patronize him. A sense of humor.
Love my family, truth and justice. 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 Love my family, to help others and be eager to share. To help others and be eager to share. To help others and be eager to share. To help others and be Yo. Hey. Yeah. Yo, make some noise for Marcus Aurelius. Make some noise for yourself. Shouts out DS Duenas. Thank you to everyone who is supporting The Wave. You are very much appreciated. And without you, we do not exist. Yo! This that Church of Meaning. Put your hands to the ceiling. What a beautiful feeling. Hallelujah! We in the end game now, baby. We got, 4 songs left, 5 songs left. We in the end game now, baby. Let's get it. Yo, happy Easter. Happy Easter. Love to you and your family. If you're listening to this on the replay, happy right now, baby.
I married the woman who's my wife, Tammy, who I've known since she was 8 years old. She lived across the street from me in this little town called Fairview, and I was in love with her like the first time I saw her, which is quite a bloody thing. So that's worked out pretty well for me, but she came to live with me about the same time, and we decided jointly to get our act together, and we swore that we'd tell each other the truth. I think she's actually done better than me. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. Here's one memory. When I was in grade 5, I got glasses, and I was pretty proud of these glasses. They were horn-rimmed glasses, and she came out onto the street. She looked at my glasses. I said, "What do you think of those?" And she says, "I think you look really funny in those." And then she pointed at me and ran into her house. That was 20 years later that she finally told me that she had always wanted to have glasses, and she was jealous about it. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage,
which is unbelievable. It's been so useful because I can really tell her things and we can really talk. So I tell you, if you want to have a good relationship, man, you embed it in the truth, because if you don't embed it in the truth, you don't have a relationship. It's just lies. It's a tissue of lies, and it will dissolve in the chaos as soon as the crisis comes along. So the truth is a terrible thing, but not compared to falsehood. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. I mean, I told my dad when I was in grade 5, I was sitting with her on this big armchair in our living room, and she was sitting beside me on the armchair, which I was pretty damn thrilled about. And she was being chased around by all the boys in the school at that point. She was very hot property, and so I was pretty happy to have her sit by me. And so she left, and I told my dad that I was going to marry her.
Akira.
The Buddhists in Japan call it Jiji-muge. Jiji-muge. Between event and event, there is no block. And they represent this imagistically as a network. Imagine a multidimensional spider web covered in dew in the morning. And every single drop of dew on this web contains in it the reflections of all the other drops of dew. And of course, in turn, in every drop of dew that one drop reflects, there is the reflection of all the others again. And they use this image to represent the interdependence of everything in the world. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. She don't want it. In other words, if we give this dewdrop image, if we put it into a linguistic analogy, we would say this: words have meaning only in context. The meaning of any word depends upon the sentence or upon the paragraph in which it's found. So that if I say, this tree has no bark, that's one thing. And if I say, this dog has no bark, that's another thing. So you see, always, the meaning of the word is in relation to the context. Now, in exactly the same way, the meaning, as well as the existence of an individual person, an organism, is in relation to the context. You are what you are, sitting here at this moment, in your particular kind of clothes, and with the particular colors of your faces and your particular personalities, your family involvements, your business involvement, your neuroses, and your everything. You are that precisely in relation to an extremely complex environment. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. She don't want it.
Yo, taking it down a little second.
He's got clout.
A rare appearance from my guy Rupert Spira here at the Church of Meaning. Make some noise for Rupert Spira. Yeah, baby.
Even those that are supposedly born and never lose touch with the knowledge of their true nature, they are not much help to humanity because they don't know how to meet anybody where they are. In order to be of help to humanity, you have to take the pathways yourself. You have to take the pathways yourself that you are then going to suggest to others. And there was a beautiful John made. He said a beautiful thing. He said, I had to become like you so that you could become like me. I had to become like you so that you could become like me. He claimed to have been born without forgetting his true nature. But he realized that he was of no use to humanity in that condition. So he consciously forgot his own nature so as to have to find pathways for himself back home in order to then make those pathways available to other people. And hence he said, I had to become like you in order for you to become like me. You in order for you to become like me. I can't comment on his experience, but it's a beautiful idea. Even if one is born in the full knowledge of one's divine identity, even so, to be of service to your community, you would have to forget that and find pathways yourself. Available for others. I had to become like you. I had to become like you. In order for you to become like me. I had to become like you. I had to become like you. In order for you to become like me. I had to become like you. I had to become like you. In order for you to become like me.
Rufus Spira, ladies and gentlemen. Rufus Spira in the Church of Meaning. Oh, what a beautiful feeling. Hands to the ceiling. Say hallelujah! Hey.
Hey. Yeah.
Make some noise.
The body and its parts a river. Everything is just an impression. Said the cynic and the response is obvious enough, but the point is a useful one if you take it for what it's worth. The soul of man does violence to itself first, when it does its best to become an abscess, a kind of detached growth from the world. To be vexed by anything that happens is a kind of succession from nature, which compromises the nature of all things. To be vexed by anything that happens is a kind of succession from nature, and it compromises the nature of all things. The soul of man does violence to itself when it turns its back on another, or sets out to do harm, as the souls of the angry do. When overpowered by pleasure or pain, when it puts on a mask and does or says anything insincerely and untruly. When it allows its action, an impulse to be without a purpose, to be random and disconnected. Even the smallest things ought to be directed towards a goal of a rational animal. Follow the reason and lower the gods. Momentary, nature, changeable, perception, dim, condition of body, decaying, soul, spinning around, fortune, unpredictable, lasting fame, uncertain.
The body and its parts are a river, soul is a dream and myth. Life is warfare, a journey far from home. After fame is oblivion. The body and its parts are a river, soul is a dream and myth. Life is warfare, a journey far from home. After fame is oblivion.
What can guide us? Only philosophy, which means keeping the demon in man free from violence and unharmed. Superior to pleasure and pain, doing nothing without purpose. No hypocrisy, randomly or dishonestly. Not dependent on any man, doing or not doing anything, except what's happening. I know there's a lot that is coming from thence, and above all they accept death and a cheerful spirit. In a cheerful spirit. And there's nothing but the disillusion of that from what it is made. If it doesn't hurt the individual elements to change continually into each other, why are people afraid of avoiding changing, separating? It's according to nature, and nothing's evil that's according to nature. Nothing's evil that's according to nature.
Body and its parts are a river, soul is a dream and myth. Life is warfare and a journey far from home. After fame is oblivion. The body and its parts are a river, soul is a dream and myth. Hey, hey, hey. Life is warfare, a journey far from home. After fame is oblivion.
Make some noise for yourself. Shouts out to everybody locked in. Shouts out to everybody checking this on the replay. Thank you Chris O'Dell for the support. Thank you everyone who's supporting the wave. This is the Church of Meaning. Mass. Make some noise for yourself. This is the last song. Last song won't last long. Last song won't last long. If I was to ask you a question, what is music?
What would be the forms of culture that we would say to be necessary or most inclined to foster in the individual that glowing of the flame?
I think the most accessible form for most people is music.
Hey.
And music, to me, is the most representational form of art, because I think that the world is made out of patterns. And we perceive some patterns as objects, but fundamentally it's patterns. And what you want is all the patterns of the world to interact harmoniously in something where every element is related intelligibly to every other element. And I think that when your life is in harmony, then you can feel that. When you're dancing to beautiful music, you're acting that out. The music is the music of the spheres, and you're participating in the patterning of your being in accordance with that structure, and that gives you an intimation of transcendence. Music is everything.
Music is everything.
Music is everything. It's not criticizable. That's the thing that's so lovely about it, is even as our society has become more cynical and more self-destructive and more deconstructionist, the power of music has in fact grown. Because it speaks to that eternal harmony. And the reality of that eternal harmony in a way that mere intellect cannot deny. And I mean, I was always amused. I went to this show, the Ramones, a punk band from New York. It was the loudest concert I'd ever heard by a good factor of 10. My ears rang for like 3 days afterwards. And there were all these like nihilistic punk rockers all crammed into this theater, and below me there was a mosh pit. It was like ants on a frying pan. And they were just smashing into each other and throwing people around above them, and it was quite rough. And they were all having this beautifully transcendent musical experience which belied all of their nihilism. And they absolutely thrived on it. It was like, and even the lyrics were harsh and nihilistic, but it didn't matter because the music was rough, was something that united them in the sense of this like patterned beauty.
And brought them together.
People die without music. It's like, music is everything.
Music is everything.
Music is everything.
Music is
Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Wow. Happy Easter, brothers and sisters.
Happy Easter. This is the Church of Meaning. That was that MEANINGWAVE Alive That Meaning Wave Alive set just for you on this beautiful day to be alive here at the peak of recorded human history. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your energy during that thing. Thank you to Diverting Tales for picking most of those songs, going through the Meaning Wave archives and coming up with a suitable selection of songs to play for you today. Thank you to YouTube Alex for holding it down in the chat during that whole situation. Thank you all for your energy, dropping your wave emojis, just being generally great, generally wonderful. Thanks to everyone who is supporting. Thanks to everyone who has contributed to supporting the wave. Thank you, new member BJB, in the place to be. Yeah, baby. Thank you, DS Duenas. Thank you, Chris Odell. You are the real MVPs. We appreciate you. Thank you, all the speakers. All the speakers on all of those songs. Who did we have today? Who do we have? Who joined us tonight? I do believe we had Jordan Peterson. I do believe we had Dr. Joseph Campbell. I do believe we did. We had David Goggins. We had Alan Watts. We had Marcus Aurelius. You know? We had Jocko Willink. And we had Rupert Spira, that most elusive and rare member of the Meaning Wave universe. So far only blessed us with one song. That song, it might be the best, is one of them. You know, it's one of my favorites. Let's put it that way. One of my favorites. And I remember that when I made this song, I was up and I was doing some work late at night, like I always am. And Naval had tweeted a reading list, stuff he was reading, and he mentioned Rupert Spira. So, you know, I trust Naval, so I went and looked up Rupert Spira, and I just sat there for hours with Rupert Spira lectures on. And Rupert Spira is truly like a wonderful communicator, and he has a beautiful voice. And it just came to this bit of the lecture where he just said that, you know, what he says on this song. And my whole, you know, sometimes your hairs stand on end, like everything stood on end. Everything was to stand. All my DNA stood up, like, woof. You know, and I had to pull out. I wasn't in the studio. I was downstairs, and I had to pull out the laptop, and I made most of that song there and then on the laptop at like 4:30 in the morning in like half an hour or something. It was very, very quick. It was all very spiritual. I kind of wasn't really conscious while I was doing it. It was just one of those very pure expressions of a moment, you know. So thank you, Rupert Spira. And I look forward to bringing more Rupert Spira experiences to the Meaning Wave universe. Yes, I do. Thank you, all of you guys. Mason says, thanks for the meeting session. Thank you, Mason. Thank you to all the members of the channel. If you want to support the channel, a good way of doing that is becoming a member. You can hit that join button below and become a member. You get access to dope emojis, and you can download all these sets as individual downloads. Keep them forever. Just in case that weird sun that they changed the color of at some point over the past 20 years does something strange and eats all the hard drives, you know. You never know. You need to download these things, burn discs, press them onto wax cylinders, you know, etch those grooves, do all that business. Speaking of which, vinyl is coming soon. We're looking into that. There'll be an announcement shortly. What else? The Stoic Beats just dropped. That's the Marcus Aurelius instrumentals. You can go save that to your playlists on Spotify. You can download it on Bandcamp. The Gary V album is out now, if you haven't heard that. That's on Spotify and all other major places. You can download it on Bandcamp. Yes, you can. You can become a patron if you want. The Patreon and the Subscribe Star are open. The links are in the bio. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can do that. The link is in the description of this video also. Coming up next week, we'll be streaming every day. We've just unlocked some new superpowers. I've discovered that I can play other kinds of music without getting completely yeeted. So we're going to be experimenting with that. So let me know what kind of DJ sets you want to hear throughout the week. We'll be here for you, regulating the vibes, keeping the community together. We'll be sticking to the normal 6 p.m. time. Today was earlier because it's a special day, you know. And thank you to everyone who was cool with that. And apologies to anyone for whom it disrupted their schedules and things, you know. Like, this has become a new habit, right? For many of us. It certainly has for me. It certainly has for me. Hush up, scroll. You don't need to scroll anymore. You know, it's become a habit, and habits are good, you know? Habits can be good if they're good habits. You got to monitor your habits, you know? You got to pay attention to your habits and make sure that they're serving you. Personally, I do an audit on my habits like a big one every 3 months, and I do a sort of check-in every month. And I just have a look at what I'm doing habitually and check if that's what I want to be doing habitually, you know? And if there's something there that shouldn't be there, then I regulate it, and that usually means replacing it with something useful. So you think, what would be a good habit to have? You know, maybe you've developed like a not good habit of watching a useless YouTube thing out of strange hatred or something. I don't know. So you could replace that with a useful one. Just replace that with like watching a Manly P. Hall lecture or something. There's a lot of Manly P. Hall lectures to listen to, and I would advise listening to them definitely. And maybe replace it with that. You know, maybe you've got into a habit of eating a cookie. You know, so maybe you could replace that cookie with a refreshing glass of water, or you could replace that cookie with a steak, or a brisk walk around the block. That's what I did. I stopped drinking coffee for a while, for like a month or something recently, to regulate, to check out if it was affecting my insides or whatever. So instead of having a coffee, because part of what I liked about the coffee was getting out of the studio and going to the coffee shop and that, so I replaced it with a brisk walk around the block. You know, so I'd take a walk around the block, I'd say hi to the security guy, then type thing, and that was cool. That worked very well, you know? So you can do that. Habits are good. Habits are good. Habits can be good so long as they're deliberate and you're paying attention to them and they're helping you in your overall goals. Habits are essentially systems, right? We know that systems are better than goals because systems you're doing every day, which means a victory every day, rather than a victory when you achieve the goal, once however long that takes, you know? So a habit is a system, and a system will get you to where you want to be. Yeah. Small in Australia says, true, I was watching lots of wasteful YouTube videos. I replaced it with these streams. Much, much better. Haha, there you go. There you go. Chef Ken says almost a month of streams. I know, that crept around fast, right? It's very strange time right now. In a way, it crept around fast. In another way, that time, the pre-streaming time, seems like so long ago. It seems like it's such a different place. I was in my old studio, you know. It was just a different place, different time, different mindset, different vibes, different world, different expectations. That was the old world. We're in the new world now, brothers and sisters. This is year 0. This is 2020 AD, auspicious, but you could say it's year 0 because it's the beginning of the new world. You know, I realized last night that, you know, this guy, you kind of got used to this whole system of like having a new one of these every year. That's a weird thing we've got into. A strange thing with like a new handheld supercomputer every year, slightly different to the previous year. You know, this one, it has 3 eyes instead of 2. They gave it 3 eyes, you know, 3 eyes through which to peer. And that was how it was different. But it could be that there aren't any more of those for a while, because it could be that we have to make them ourselves now. It could be that the West has to learn how to build things again, how to make computers and manufacture things of that nature. And that'll take a little while. So it could be that you don't get a shiny new iPhone next year. It could be you got to look after the iPhone you've got, or the Android phone you've got, or the Speak and Spell, or whatever it is, you know? Violet Alice Evans says, I watched Sam Hyde for almost 3 days straight. How is your mindset after that? How do you feel after that? I bet you feel pretty psychedelic after that. Shouts out to Sam Hyde all day. Something brewing in that area, you know. Something brewing in that area. Don C says, good ritual is good. Meaning stream. Yeah, there you go. Meaning stream. YouTube hero Alex says, speak and spell, lol. Small in Australia said, I yeeted my smartphone in 2011. Are you smart? What do you use for your communications? Do you have 2 cups and a piece of string? What are you doing this on? Are you on a computer? Do you have a VPN? How is, you know, I wonder how all these things work. It's a brave new world, baby. It's a beautiful new world, baby. It's an auspicious new world, baby. It's rebirth. It's butterfly season. You know? It's that chrysalis time. We're in that chrysalis. We're getting ready to come out and be a big, beautiful butterfly. That's what we're doing. Small in Australia says, computer VPN Nokia 3310 and a bonfire to send smoke signals long distance. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Ooh. Yeah, baby, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Derna says, I didn't even have a smartphone until 2017. I only got it because my flip phone had water damage and got the most indestructible phone on the market. I never had a flip phone. I always admired the flip phones of others, you know? Ooh, look at that flip phone. I was the first person in the UK to have a BlackBerry, though, because when I came out to America in 2005, I got me a BlackBerry. The record company gave me a BlackBerry. Well, they hooked me up with a BlackBerry, you know? And it's when they were the color of a BlackBerry. It was like a purple, deep blue purple, and it was wider than it was tall, and it had buttons on it, and I could write down my raps while cycling. I could cycle, and with one hand, I'd be writing down my raps with one hand, because it was so easy to type on the BlackBerry. You can't type on an iPhone to this day. You can't type on them, it's impossible. Chef Ken says, we're all caterpillars contemplating pupation. Haha. Terence McKenna, I've not heard that one. Is there audio of that? I would love to do a song with that. Yeah, so there you go. So in Terence McKenna's period, we were caterpillars contemplating pupation. I believe that we're now entering pupation. That's what I believe now. I believe we're entering chrysalis. All right? That's what's crystallizing for me, is we're entering chrysalis. We're all indoors. We're all indoors being forced to go deep, brothers and sisters. Spin ourselves a shiny cocoon. You know, here's the thing. For normies to exist, and I always said this, right? If you really want to change the world, you've got to reach the normies. And you've got to reach out to the normies, and you've got to bring the normies into your world. You don't want to be one of these exclusive guys who are like, I'm a cool guy, and I'm having a cool party, and fuck everybody else. You want to be like, all right, we're cool guys, and we want everyone else to come to our cool party so they can be cool Fonzies like us, you know? You want to reach out to the normies. Like, I don't like people looking down on normies and all that type of thing. I don't use the word normie because it's like that's a word everyone understands. And it's fine, it makes sense. Normie, normal. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But you wanna bring the normies into your world. If you think that you're like your way is like the way for the future, and you know, I chucked my TV out the window in 2003. You know, so that's a foundational thing to do. You know, I recognized the Wizard of Oz aspect of life as a small boy, you know? But not everybody does, but now lots of people are. And here's what's up, right? For normies to exist, you need normalcy. All right, for normies to exist, you need normalcy. There ain't no normalcy right now. All right, so it's going to be difficult for normies to exist. I mean, we're at a period now where normies could all be turned into cool Fonzies. You know, they could be brought into our party, into our world. And it's one of those situations where, like, once the genie is out of the bottle, it does not go back into the bottle. Pandora's box does not have an off switch. You know? So that's what's going on, brothers and sisters. So I want you to be kind, all right, to your brothers and sisters, to your normie brothers and sisters, as they sort of awake violently from normalcy and get plunged into this world. Now, you know, I said this, and my mum's boyfriend said, oh, don't worry, there'll be a new normal soon enough. I don't know if that's true yet. Because I'm looking at at the world, and there is no, what's the word for it? There is no conformity of opinion. There is no consensus. There is no consensus, and it doesn't look like there's a consensus coming anytime soon. There's lots of competing ideas and memes and potential situations. So it's going to be normalcy. Certainly there's no normalcy right now. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I tell you why, one of the reasons that's a wonderful thing is normally there is a consensus. But that consensus isn't true. The consensus is based on sort of choosing a few things and focusing on those and pretending everything else isn't happening. And it's also focusing on a kind of a scripted story version of that. You know, of those few things to focus on. So anyway, right now, on a simple level, right now, I think that we're building our chrysalises. And I think this is an opportunity to bring everyone else along with us as we get ready for butterfly season, you know? And we all have a very important part to play in this. And one of the major things you can do is be kind and have empathy for your brothers and sisters who are, entering this new thing with you. You know, some people, like, they were just thinking about the sports. Some people were just thinking about summer break. Some people, they were just thinking about going to the club on the weekend. And they'd never had to go any deeper than that. And that's not their fault. You know, but now they're going deeper. And they need your help. And they need your empathy. They need your kindness, they need your understanding, and they need your wisdom, the wisdom that you've gained from going down these paths and these tunnels and going to these places for many, 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 many years. However long you've been doing it. I don't know how long you've been doing it. I know it's long enough for you to be here. And for you to be here means you've been doing it enough. You know? And, you know, with that in mind, I will take my leave. You know? And go and enjoy the rest of this Easter Sunday with my wife and my son. It smells good in this house. My wife is cooking something beautiful, and the boy is very excited to hang out and play some games and things. You know? Thanks to everyone who's been supporting. Go to meaningwave.com. As YouTube Alex points out, you can cop that new merch, and you can just you can read all the lyrics and stuff, and you can see blogs and things, you know. I'm looking forward to next week. It's going to be a dope week. We got a new single dropping on Friday. That Fred Rogers joint. New music video on Friday. And as ever, we're dropping, 3 videos a day on the channel. So, enjoy that. Enjoy that. Leave a comment. Leave a like. All that engagement helps trick the robots. Trick the robots into helping spread this to all the normies who need it. The normies need this information and need this music. Suck It and Chuck It Part 3 is going to help you right now. And here he is, bang on time. Drop your diamonds in the chat. The prince is here. You ready? Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
What's going on?
I just came up to say hi.
Hey, come back then. Come say hi. Come say hi. How you feeling? Happy Easter, Herky.
Happy Easter to you guys too, and Dada.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. When we're eating, can we play Try Ticket to Ride?
You want to play Ticket to Ride?
While we're eating, and then we'll play Full Human Full Flat when we're not, and we just relax with chocolate. Okay?
You want to play Human Fall Flat? What's that?
It's a game where you're just this floppy idiot who jumps off buildings and tries to solve puzzles, and he just doesn't have a face. He's basically Slenderman. Except the characters are naked. Sometimes they're naked.
Yeah, so Human Fall Flat is a strange game where you just basically throw yourself around and injure yourself, right? Where are you going now? Come back. Come back. There's more to it. What more to it is there?
Customizing characters and playing with friends. But only 2-player.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I'm excited. Let's do it. Look, you're getting lots of emojis in the chat. They're dropping their diamonds. Diamonds for Hercules. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. Mason says, speak it into being. Exactly. All right, Herky, do you want to do the by 5? Yeah? Do you want to say a little prayer for the people? Yeah, go on then. Hercules is setting up his visual situation. He's trying to add some special effects. Martin Potter says, looks like I barely made it. Martin Potter, you missed a 2-hour Meaning Wave set, is what you missed, my friend. All right, Herky?
Here we go.
Oh, you're going to say a prayer? Okay. All right. Okay. Here it comes. Take the mic.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I'll turn the light off.
Light fell, guys.
Talk directly into the mic.
Yep. Wait, is it on? Can I hear myself? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure I can. Is it working? Finally. Oh, wait, what? I haven't used these headphones in a while since the first stream. Anyways.
Right by your mouth. Keep it right by your mouth. Yeah.
Dear God, thank you for this lovely fans and Akira the Don. Thank you for this music. This beautiful music here. Thank you for Ethan Gamer inspiring me to be a YouTuber. Thank you for the Foxy plushie I'm going to use for the Buy 5 right now. Thank you for basically everything. And Dan TDM. If you're watching this, thank you for inspiring me.
Yeah! Yeah, thank you, Hercules. What a lovely prayer that was. Hercules there thanked you guys, thanked us guys, and for the inspiration. And he's put... Come and tell the people what this is, just so they, in case they don't know, because they probably don't. What is that?
A Five Nights at Freddy's plushie. Can you make that light more, not so we can see the color?
Make what?
It kind of looks creepy with that red light. Please don't do that.
I can't do anything about the red light. The red light is what it is. You could turn that light back on if you want. That could help. Yeah, maybe. There you go. Turn it this way. No, it's still red. I like this all red thing. Oh, no. Oh, shit. Hercules has just spilled lots of water on the floor, all over a load of plugs. It's all right. Go do the by 5 before everything blows up, and then we'll fix that. We'll fix the technology. All right, you ready? Sheila says, thanks for the wholesome vibes, Herc. Thank you, Sheila. All right, you ready, Hercules?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that spill. Sorry. Ow, I hurt myself. What is going on? What is... Sorry, I spilled that. Sorry. Anyways, now this is a jump scare by if you say, okay. Say, jump scare if you want to get a jump scare by 5, or just press by 5 if you want to just have the regular by 5, okay? You have, like, 1 minute to choose. 1 minute to choose. I'll give them jump scare and a by 5. Extra. You don't need to hear me for this. Just hold it in my mouth, because I have to.
Okie dokie. Hercules is going in. Whatever he's up to.
2, 1.
Ah! Ah! Oh no, help! Happy Easter, everybody. Wholesome vibes only. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. Go forth and be mighty. I'll see you all soon.